It's
Go
been a,
for it. I mean, you
it's
might
been a
as
crazy
well.
couple months.
I want to hear it. What is it? Let's record it.
Yeah. So I work in a warehouse type facility. I won't get into specifics. Legally, I think I'm not allowed to get into specifics at this point, but
Fish related?
no fish.
Okay.
So, so a couple weeks ago, it's a Monday. It's a Monday morning. Nobody's having a good time, and we've been busy basically since Christmas. It's been Christmas levels with the quarantine and all. I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much sucks. Everybody's miserable, a lot of tension in the air, And this particular Monday, I got a dude across from me. He starts complaining. He starts bitching and moaning. It's pretty typical. We're used to it at this point. Anyway, a manager comes down. He goes, hey, man, what can I do? He's trying to be nice to the guy. He's trying to buddy him up. The guy is just not having it. He's just, turning his cheek every time he tries to crack a joke with him, just not having anything. I'm standing across witnessing the whole thing, and I say to the manager, yeah, he's not having it today. That's all I say. Yeah. That is all I say. This fucking manager starts losing his mind on the employee, the other guy, and being like, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're always in a bad mood. You're always ruining this shit for everybody, and I'm tired of this shit. So I continue to work. I walk off, and in the 5 seconds that I'm gone and have my back turned to the whole situation, I come back out. The employee has his hand on the side of his face, and he's like, hey, I need you to call another supervisor, bro. And so I go, what the hell just happened? And there's a fourth person standing to my right who goes, oh, that supervisor just beat the shit out of him.
Oh, my God.
Dude, apparently he sucker punched him. He took 3 more follow-up punches before the dude even knew what was going on.
Well,
absolutely insane. And so here's my favorite tidbit. I know that's crazy enough, but my favorite tidbit of the story. So the employee walks off to go find another manager, I'm assuming, or call the cops. I'm not sure which. But and while he does that, the manager that punched him continued to work for 10 minutes before they came and dragged him out of there.
Oh, my God.
The Spread Show.
All right, everyone, welcome to a special NBA edition of The Spread. Big Bob is back in the building, Triple B. Actually, I think LeVar still has that copywritten.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to talk some NBA. I'm excited. But,
nice.
Yeah, that quarantine work story, fantastic. Mine was super easy. I was living the dream. We had less hours. They were paying everybody. We were like 9:30 to 4 every day. So
what?
It was. I've never gotten more work done in my life. I sent so much feedback to every corporate person I could find saying, please make this permanent.
Does it basically just become a call center with like a
No, it was
social
great.
distancing?
I mean,
That's awesome.
there was a lot of social distancing stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I was getting sleep. I was playing video games. I was working in the yard. But of course, some people lost their jobs, so I don't want to go all crazy. But
right.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the virus is now it's over in the social world. No one cares anymore because the whole world is rioting at this point. So
yeah,
protesting, and then there's some rioters. I'll say that. But yeah, so it's the worst year of all time. Don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough, but yeah, I'm glad we're doing this podcast. I'll tell you that much.
Seriously. Now, there's been a lot of terrible podcasts in the basketball realm for like the past, I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks, just about is the NBA coming back. So I can't handle it. I haven't listened to an NBA podcast besides like redrafting podcasts for, I don't know, 2 months, it feels like.
What's your opinion on those?
I could listen to those all day, every day.
Man, I thought I was going to enjoy those a lot more than I have. I don't know if maybe it's the format or the particular ones that I'm listening to, but yeah, I haven't particularly enjoyed the ones that I've heard.
The format that Bill Simmons uses is kind of weird because they go through the draft first. I kind of got used to it, but then they just redraft it, and it's like it goes super fast. I'm like, wait, how did you get to the 7th pick already?
Maybe that's
But
why. Maybe it's because it's confusing, and I'm like, wait, how is he going 7th already?
yeah, so but I like just revisiting those old drafts is really fun because
Yeah.
it's insane how bad the GMs were. I don't
Oh, yeah.
understand. I really, truly do not understand how these GMs were so bad.
It's crazy. It's and it's fun to look back at some of the names that, at the time we thought were going to be such big time players and they didn't turn into anything.
Yeah, who was that guy from Pitt? I was listening to the last one they did. I think it was 2005. But there was a guy from Pitt that was just disgusting in college back in the day, and he went in that 2005 draft, and they were talking about him. I was like, oh my god, I remember that dude. And I thought he was disgusting. Damn it, I have
The
to
name
look him
does
up.
it. Yeah, it sounds familiar. Point guard or something like that? Maybe
No, I
shooting
think he
guard?
was a lanky, uh, like a lanky forward. I'm gonna find him. Hold on. No, not
Speaking of which,
Lance
bring
Fields.
back Pitt basketball. What happened there? You guys used to be good.
Didn't they have that one Jamie dude at some point? Or was that the coach? God damn, I don't know. I have to find this guy. I keep wanting to say Lorenzen Wright because it's basic. Chris Taft.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember Chris Taft.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought he was going to be so good, but that was the name. They had that funny story about your boy Ike Diagu going
Oh,
like
that made me so sad.
the Kendrick Perkins part
Yeah.
where they
His
called him
game's
Ike
doo-doo.
Ike Doo-Doo Diagu.
How bad do you have to be if Kendrick Perkins is saying you're terrible?
Your game sucks, and Kendrick Perkins doesn't have an offensive post game. Oh,
Man,
that's just wrong. I hate Kendrick Perkins now, by the way.
that was rough.
What other basketball? So, what has actually popped up in your head, basketball related, over the last month and a half?
I think first and foremost right now, well, over the last month and a half, first and foremost was the whole Jordan documentary. I got a question. Do you think Jordan sized himself up for a ring after that?
For sure.
Because he basically won another championship, right?
Yeah, I mean, he basically just I don't know how to understand it, but he hit every ingredient you need for that to be a success. Like nothing else is happening. LeBron was kind of out of the limelight for a little bit, and everyone had to focus on him. So it was perfect. It was a perfect storm for him to have that released and just have everyone back on the Jordan train.
Yeah, and he releases the most one-sided, skewed 10-episode hype video, and then all of a sudden he's the best player of all time again. It's just I don't know about that.
Whoa, wait, what do you mean you don't know about it? What?
I'm still not sold on it. I still think that it's I think it's tough to compare eras, but if you wanted to go overall fantasy draft, I'm still taking LeBron number one overall all time.
Yeah, I don't know. It is impossible to do the eras thing because obviously if you drop LeBron in there, it's just they're just so different that it's an impossible comparison. But if you're like, hey, you get to pick one, you get to put both of them in both eras, and it changes the makeup of your team, right? Like LeBron, you're going to want to allow him to make plays. Jordan, you're going to want him to have the ball. It's just weird. I don't even know how to look at that stuff.
But so my thing has always been, imagine if they're both starting in the same point, early 90s, and they both have Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Don't you think they're similar career paths? Don't you think they're both winning 6 titles?
Yeah, I think that I don't know if LeBron wins 6 titles, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. He probably win 8.
I just don't know if he wins 6. I don't know if I trust LeBron to do that. I also, though, was shocked that Jordan barely won some of these titles. There were a lot of iffy titles. It felt like Jordan was always dominant, and in this, it's holy shit, we won, but god damn, it was a struggle.
Oh yeah, and they're dragging dead bodies near the end of that documentary. You could tell he's just I can't do this shit anymore. I'm surprised he came back after watching that.
Yeah. What
Like
surprised me
the
the
Wizards.
most, honestly, was early Jordan. Holy shit. That
He was
Jordan
nasty.
is disgusting.
Yeah,
And
he was
it's
nasty.
like, that guy doesn't even exist in my mind. I just see
Right.
like the mustachioed, kind of muscular older guy that I'm like, that guy was sick. But
Yep.
holy shit, that first version is disgusting.
For the longest time, I didn't even know that he played college basketball besides the one shot. Like, that was the only thing I'd seen a poster of him taking that shot. I didn't even know that he played besides that because, like, highlights weren't as available back then, you know?
Right. I didn't think I thought my impression of him coming out of college was like, oh, he wasn't that great. Like, he was a pretty
Like Marvin
solid.
Williams or something, right?
No, not Marvin Williams, but like.
No. Like, he rode the bench and, like, he wasn't, like, a big-time contributor on that team. But he was, like, player of the year or some shit, I think.
Yeah, that you're right. Yeah, I felt like he was like, oh, this is a pretty solid guy. And then he just turned out to be Michael Jordan. But no, he was actually like kind of a star.
Yeah, he was crazy.
I think that was the best part, was the beginning, just seeing the early seasons and the failures and stuff like that. Because I don't know, it was a completely different guy. And before Scotty, stuff like that.
I think my favorite part was watching him blatantly lie, thinking that nobody would call him out on his bullshit.
He can do that though. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, you definitely can when you win that many titles. But I don't know. I just thought it was ridiculous. Like, especially the Isaiah stuff.
Seriously, at this point, what does he have to lose by saying no? I didn't want Isaiah on the team. He could have just said that.
He just buries everybody. He's still not done burying people.
Yeah, I mean, I also didn't really always keep in mind the Krause stuff. Like, I remember reading about it in Bill Simmons' book, but I would be kind of pissed too that.
Oh yeah,
and I don't understand. I really get like the player empowerment thing. We need that now because looking back, Michael Jordan couldn't get the owner or the GM to like do something. That's insane to me.
Seriously.
So like, that's just like this year, if they're like, yeah, LeBron or the Heat, like if Pat Riley had the Heat and he was like, no, I think we're going to move on from everyone. And like LeBron was like, man, this really just sucks. This is too bad. I don't really, I don't know. That was shocking to me. I don't understand. I also kind of lost some respect for Jordan in that sense that he didn't walk up to the owner and say, if you don't fucking fire this guy, I'm out at some point.
And really, all that GM dude wanted was just like a pat on the back. Like, he just wanted Jordan to be like, hey, man, you're pretty good at your job. That's it. That's really all he wanted.
Jordan could have been like, hey, good job drafting Scottie Pippen.
That was it. Yeah. I feel bad for the little guy.
Yeah, by all accounts, a solid GM, but then, holy shit, how do you make that mistake of just like, you know what, I'm fucking blowing this up. No one cares about me. Like, I guess after you win 6 titles, who cares, right?
Yeah.
And now he gets slandered post-death, so that sucks. But I didn't really think of anything else in that doc. I saw a lot of pretty bad basketball players, I feel like, but there were some impressive guys that I think would have crossed over. But yeah, there was some guys that, he dominated some shitty players.
Yeah, that was the only, like, the last thing that really stuck out to me was just some of those teams and how poor they really were after, like, some of the high-end talent. So if you look at the Jazz, they got Stockton and Malone. The rest of that roster was garbage, man.
Yeah, there was like, I don't know, how many teams there? 32 or whatever, 30 teams, and they had maybe 40 good players. There was, and he caught tail end of Magic and Bird. Isaiah was out after a little bit. There was a lot of weird shit. Barkley was, I think, like, kind of seeing some of the stuff with him definitely is deserving of more praise.
Oh yeah, he was impressive.
Couldn't really think. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like other players that I had more respect for, but really just like I said, it came down to like, what if we put Patty Mills in this era? Like, what would happen?
Well,
or DeMar DeRozan.
I heard the great J.R. Smith. I don't know if you happen to hear this also.
Oh no.
he was talking about how, it's tough to compare guys in eras because if he's going up against like Bob Cousy or something like that, he's scoring every single time he touches the ball.
Oh my God, Bob Cousy would be so fucking pissed.
That's
You want to talk
point.
about racial riots? Good Lord.
Especially in Boston. Imagine if JR went in there. Cousy. Oh,
Yeah, no, that's impossible to compare.
yeah.
But I also do think that like mid '90s basketball, I liked watching some of those clips in those games. They were just
It
something
was.
more raw and athletic. And I think it was Barkley that said it was like the best time in basketball history or whatever.
It was a different game for sure.
Yeah, I think right after that it turned into like a lot of one-on-one kind of terrible one-on-one, not like good one-on-one.
Yep.
And then it's turned into the three fest now, which is kind of
Free
annoying.
fest.
But also watching these teams like just not shoot threes was really annoying.
It's crazy.
They're just like packed into this small area with with these like weird defensive rules. It's like, hey, if someone just shoots a three every once in a while, you might be a little easier. I don't know. That was weird.
And it's nuts how we look at those specialists like Steve Kerr and Hornacek, even for the Jazz,
Yeah.
and they're hitting like 3 threes a game. We're just
Jesus,
like,
he just hit a second three. Good Lord.
you better close out on that guy, Oh, hold on.
What, are you getting a text?
Internet connection. I'm good.
Oh, I gotcha. So yeah, what's your feel? So who do you have? LeBron 1
Yeah.
and Jordan 2.
Yeah.
Who's 3?
It's got to be one of the big dudes, man, and it's hard for me to say that, but like one of the combination of Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, or Shaq. That has to be
Shaq.
Oh, Shaq's got to be in there.
Oh my God.
Shaq's
Nah, see, I've got to put Tim Duncan in before like Shaq.
I love Tim.
I've had so much. That was the one thing I was going to say. This whole process of like thinking about where's the Tim Duncan think pieces. Like that dude had one of the greatest careers of all time. He could have played through the 90s and all the way up to when he finished his career. He was great. So how is he not getting more love? It's so annoying.
Yeah, no, it's true. What did he win? 5 titles? Got 5?
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull up his resume, but Tim Duncan deserves like a shit ton more press. 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, 3-time Finals MVP, 97, 98 All-Rookie, 5-time NBA champ, 15-time All-Defensive, All-Star MVP, and 2-time MVP.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. So I look at some of the obviously like Russell and stuff. That's not even, it's impossible to compare that. So I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
But for me, Tim Duncan's like a top 5 guy. And I know the Duncan Kobe thing has been heating up a lot, but I know that if I start a franchise with Tim Duncan, I'm winning titles without issues.
They're probably like 6, 7 for me. That combination of dudes is probably like right up on Shaq and those guys.
Yeah. I did like also a lot of people asking, would Shaq be able to play in today's game? What do you think about that?
Hell. Oh, absolutely. Dominate in any era. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be great if he's just pulling down 29 and 15 and they're getting blown out because the other team hit 23s. But
yeah.
But on the right team, I think he could definitely still make an impact and he would still be Shaq.
I think people also forget early Shaq was doing Giannis shit.
Yeah.
He was like going coast to coast off of rebounds. He was skinny.
And he was a defensive nightmare too. Like, you weren't scoring on Shaq.
Could you imagine? Yeah, if you put like Lakers Shaq in today's era, there's not a center in the NBA that could, like, they're all too small. Like,
No.
They just get fucking dominated.
Yeah. They would put the forwards on him. It'd be like Draymond and LeBron when they played those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, good Lord. But yeah, Tim Duncan, that's really all. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. I'm not going to stop the Tim Duncan hype train for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I always just go back to his basketball reference page and I'm like, holy shit, this is insane.
Well, he meets all the qualifications that you need too. Like he's got the iconic shot, he's got all the rings, like he's got the personality, just
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Any other old school basketball shit that you came across?
Shit, man, it made me really miss those 90s jazz teams, 97, 98 jazz teams.
Okay.
I grew up in
Fucking
South
ribbing me.
Coast. That was that was a lot for me, And actually, I wanted to mention this shit. So I knew that my dad had went to one of those finals games in '97 or '98, whenever the flu game happened, but I didn't know which one. I recently asked him, and he claims it was the flu or the food poisoning game or the hangover game, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild.
That's
tidbit.
really cool. Damn. Yeah, that's to be able to go to like the iconic game in Jordan's career. That's pretty badass.
Just randomly too, yeah. So
I don't like Utah I just mostly don't like the Utah fans.
Yeah,
just leave it at that. And then like the 50 people that have come out and said they're the ones that poisoned him.
Yeah, I didn't really like that either. The whole story just seemed a little fishy. It seemed like MJ was trying to hide something. It was just like, we'll come up with a story,
Yeah.
So
I also wanted more MJ Vegas stuff and Rodman Vegas stuff. That was great. The fact that they showed in the documentary Rodman just finishing off a Miller Lite, then hopping on a motorcycle, no helmet, and taking off down a strip or whatever.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, and I don't think they showed any Rodman wrestling footage.
No, they showed the one where he skipped the finals practice to go do it, but I don't think they got it cleared or something like that from WWE because it was just him walking out. That was it.
Damn, yeah. And why didn't they mention that Karl Malone wrestled him? Like,
that's what I was wondering. They should have spent 20 minutes to a half an hour on that for sure.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well,
that was WCW, right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Who's a big number? What else we got? You had quick hits. You had all sorts of. Are you already done with the MJ stuff? I thought we were coming in with hotter missiles or something. You just were just like, no, he's not the guy.
It was just the ring accusation thing. I think he did get fitted for a ring after this whole run because he had another good run, and LeBron definitely started filming his doc, right? Like
LeBron's been filming a doc since he was like a sophomore in high school, right?
That's what I'm saying. And if we get to see that, imagine a 10-episode documentary on LeBron. Like it's going to be equally as great. So
yeah, it'll be awesome. But it's also going to be a lot of LeBron just be like, everything was so tough. Every year it was so tough just to be LeBron.
And that whole Humber story was misunderstood.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't try to trade his teammates all the time or make Instagram posts about them.
It was actually a 1999 Hummer. It wasn't even the latest model. So not a big deal. But yeah, we can definitely run through some quick hits, man. I've been listening to some of your guys' pods recently, and I've been enjoying the foods, especially at all the stadiums for sure.
Oh my God! Yes, thank you.
That's been my favorite part. So, and of course Jackson DeVille. I think he's my new favorite mascot. So,
did you see him get involved in the Stadium Stampede match?
No.
Yeah, he got knocked. Chris Jericho knocked his ass out.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Is he okay?
That was right after we named him the best mascot in the division too, and
Shit.
it was rough. Yeah, you've been to the Jet Stadium, right?
Yeah, I have.
How would you rate their concessions?
So, like, that was confusing for me because when I heard all the stuff that they had, I can't remember what it was right now, but like 3 or 4 of those things on there, I didn't even know that they had there. So,
so they could be like the exclusive, like the club level, like suite view seats only.
Yeah, and it's just a giant ass stadium. We just got some nachos or something like that. So,
right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
If I would have known, I definitely would have tried. I think they had some kind of cream cheese, something or another, and it sounded delicious. So.
Oh yeah, the Jets. That, like I said, they might get knocked down a peg if it turns out the Giants have the same items but with different names.
They definitely do. You guys are talking about, I think it was hot dogs or something like that. We're just like, so they just call it a giant dog, and I want to be like, absolutely.
What did you think about the Jets draft?
I loved it, man. I was definitely a fan. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, so I just like Mekhi Becton. I think we needed offensive line. He's gigantic. Of course, the guy's raw, but there's just not enough of those dudes walking the earth, as they say. So
Uh, so what happened when those receivers were on the board and you didn't take the receivers?
I was a little disappointed, especially with Jerry Jeudy, because it seems like he's going to be really, really good. Shit, Ruggs, man, we might have missed that. We might have been okay on that one. That guy's already got issues.
How the hell? Okay, yeah. First off, he gets paid. He could have just had someone help his friend move. Like, hey, man, I don't want to move stuff. And the guy's like, I mean, I don't know what you're moving that can cut your thigh open like that.
That's
But
what
it's
I'm
like,
saying.
if you called me and you're like, hey, man, I need some help moving. I got to get my set of ancient Chinese swords that I've covered in paper towels. Let's just need some help moving those in the living room. Like, I'm probably going to say no.
Yeah, it's
But,
like, I'm going into my rookie season. I probably shouldn't risk it.
yeah.
It's like, even if you aren't moving swords, you probably shouldn't be moving heavy furniture. I don't know.
No, nothing. It's a dumb idea. It's a bad pick already. I agree.
So,
Back to NBA though. Did you
yeah.
have any? Yeah, go ahead.
So I need you to explain this to me. So everything I'm hearing, it sounds like we're going to get a traditional playoff system, right? That's what we're leading to.
So the players also, I mean, I also want to throw out how far away it seems. We're like, the conversations are kind of heating up, but it seems like we're like August probably.
It's end of July, right? So it's at least 7 more weeks before.
Yeah. So the players apparently want 6 weeks to like get in shape. So, I don't know. It's like, well, okay, why don't we just start the next season at that point? But yeah, it doesn't sound like we're doing the group stage. It sounds like they're going to try to go a little more traditional.
Oh,
But I do think that there's a little push for the top 16 instead of conferences.
oh, okay. I thought there was a little bit of push until it came out that the Nets might play the Lakers and that KD might came back, and then it seemed like that shit went away instantly.
Really? There's no way KD's coming back.
I don't know, man. You don't think he'd come back and try and stick it to LeBron?
Absolutely not.
All right.
No. I haven't even seen that. Are you sure you didn't just make that up? So yeah, I really don't think that I don't think he's coming back. I also think that's the best way to go. And kind of like you were saying, the top teams were jacked about that because then they can just kind of roll through the first round and really get the warm up in. Yeah. I don't know. That's fine by me. I think top 16 is definitely the way to go. Just I don't need to see the worst teams in the East. Like I don't need to see the Nets.
Well, I do think that's funny, especially right now with how poorly some of these teams are treating the situation, New York Knicks included. But like the worst fucking teams in the league are the ones complaining that they're not going to be involved in this tournament. It's like, what do you think you're winning?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, just take your terrible loss. Maybe they're mad that they can't add more losses on for tanking.
Is it a tanking thing, or is it like, do they think there's some kind of revenue they're not going to be getting?
Right. That's obviously a big deal. Do you what format do you prefer?
I'd like the traditional, 16 team playoff with the the old seedings. I don't like without the conferences. I don't think we should just throw everything out the window, because then it's just a gimmick title.
I mean, isn't it a gimmick title every year if if the best teams aren't getting in anyways?
Yeah, but
no, I get what you're saying. It's not matching up with what traditionally happens.
Yeah, and it's even more of a gimmick. It's already going to be a gimmick, so why are we making it, even more of a thing?
Do you want them to launch straight into playoffs, or to have like maybe a 15 or 10 game stretch?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So what are they doing right now? So I've heard either the soccer thing, is that pretty much dead at this point?
Yeah, I don't think the group thing is happening, even though Adam Silver kind of likes it.
Oh.
I think that right now it's like a play-in. They'll try to play. They're trying to play enough games so that like the Memphis, Portland, and New Orleans thing can get settled.
So basically, teams like 22 through 16,
Yeah.
they have like a little mini tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they would just play. Like all these teams would just kind of play to kind of get their legs back too.
Interesting.
But I mean, it all comes down like the league wants Zion in. So
How much fun would it be though if we have a little mini tournament and Zion's just running around dunking on everybody?
yeah, I think that they should do the group stage and have every team in. just do it. Just have every team play. Give the one seeds like a handicap, like plus 2 points or something,
Okay.
and just because I want to see Steph and the Warriors. I know that they shouldn't be in, but maybe give them a handicap too, so it's like -2 points or something to start. So it's really hard. Like they'd have to literally win every game to make it out. I just want to see everyone play.
I like it. The severe
It's chaos.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't care. I just want to watch the games. I really don't care.
Definitely. It's going to be fucking wild, man, with no crowds, anything like that. Just AAU gyms, summer league, basically.
Yeah, and what I was also thinking, the NHL is going to be starting up too, and they have their format all set. Do you think the teams, like, is this like a veteran teams will dominate thing, or teams that have been together for longer will dominate, or is it going to be like younger teams have a better chance because the old guys need like a little bit to get going?
I think it's going to be the teams with like the best practice players. So the dudes that just dominate in practice, like your Kawhi Leonards, your Jimmy Butlers, even like your Chris Pauls. I think it's going to be dudes like that are going to be their teams are going to be really, really impressive.
That's interesting. So like basically the most disciplined guys.
Yeah, just the dudes that they're not fucking around. Like they don't need crowds, they don't need any of that. Like LeBron, people like that.
So not Harden and Westbrook.
I feel like they need the energy. They need to feed off of it.
Wouldn't Harden at least like play better, knowing that he's not choking in front of like 20,000 people in the playoffs again?
Well, maybe now he'll focus instead of every time he hits a three, turning around and like stirring the pot or doing one of those things.
I'm not sure if he's done that for a while.
Still doing that?
You sound like such an old white guy.
This rough for me.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. I could see. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good theory.
Do you think people still celebrate into the camera, like knowing there's a camera there? They still do like their dances and whatnot.
No, but I do think they will be saying stuff into the camera.
Oh, that'll be fucking awesome.
Suck it, LeBron, or something like that, or you see that shit, or something.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get
who's in the playoffs that's most likely to say something that has to be put on tape delay?
The Carlos Boozer Award? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or the KG Award.
Damn, that's a good question.
Do you give it to like Montrez and Lou Will?
Yeah. Clippers would probably be a pretty good one. Even Kawhi, I feel like he drops,
So, yeah, that would be great. Kawhi just...
And Patrick Beverly. Yeah, there's a lot of cameras on the team. They're bleeping all the stuff out.
So it starts up. Let's say it starts up. It's traditional, just like you were saying. Who wins?
I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers' talent overall is still the best in the West. I know the Clippers, on paper, are probably more talented, but I still like the Lakers' big two more than I like the Clippers' big two. Even with this break, I think it means more to LeBron at this point, so I think he's going to try just a little bit harder. And I like the Lakers to win this gimmick title.
Yeah, I kind of want it for LeBron because this would be an entire just wasting a year of LeBron's last few years of his prime or whatever. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, no fault of his own, not even injury.
Right, and then I just worry about AD, like with the stop-start. I just feel like he's bound to be hurt in Game 3 of the first round.
Oh, that's another award. Who's most likely to be hurt after a long layoff? AD might be the favorite.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also interested in see how it affects like Kawhi and Paul George. Like Paul George's replaced shoulders, like having maybe him getting some rest with that because he was sucking for a while there.
True.
And then Kawhi's had that limp for like a year and a half now. Maybe that gets fixed a little bit.
True.
I don't know. Did you have any awards? Why isn't anyone talking about the Mavericks?
Yeah, I just don't think they're quite there, right? Like they still got probably another year or two before they're big.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Luka was an MVP candidate, and he can clearly play with the rest of these guys.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Luka, honestly.
I don't think they're going to win the title, but it doesn't mean they can't give someone a really good series.
Doesn't mean he won't be fun as shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the fun thing is like the finals MVP or they should do a playoff MVP for this tournament MVP.
Who do you like to win it?
Probably I like the Clippers.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I don't really trust Vogel too much for the Lakers. I don't trust – what?
What about Jay Kidd?
Like Vogel gets fired in like the first round?
Oh, that'd be crazy if they came back from quarantine with Kidd as the coach.
Yeah, that would be – LeBron just says, I think Frank Vogel has the coronavirus. He doesn't get to coach. No, I like the Clippers. I've liked the Clippers the whole year. They flew under the radar and like they were the natural pick at the beginning of the year. Then everyone just kind of is like, oh, whatever. That team is literally made for the playoffs.
Yeah, their depth is really going to help the playoffs.
And they added one of the Morris brothers, which everyone's going to forget about, which they're just going to have bodies to throw at people.
Oh, yeah, you can always use a Morris brother.
And those Lakers-Clippers games were so fun this year, so I hope – and Kawhi doesn't fuck around in those. So,
yeah, hopefully we get some epic ones in this playoff.
It's going to be weird, though, and I really want to hear more conversation from the players about like, hey, I'm just going to be stuck in Orlando for like 2 months and not be able to do anything. Like that kind of sucks.
And some of the dudes that were like, had concerns, had either their own, immune concerns or whatever about the virus, and whether or not they're going to play, like Joe Ingles and some of the other dudes of the Jazz. It'll be curious to see if, they can come back.
Did you see that Bogdanovich decided to just get surgery?
What? No.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, he got shoulder surgery.
Well,
he'll be out.
Wait, is that the one that plays for the Kings? Is that the
no,
other?
No, wait, this was Bojan. This was for the Jazz.
Okay, the guy that
the Jazz players basically said, fuck it, we're not playing.
Yeah, weren't they like fifth? What the hell?
I don't know what their problem is, but they experienced coronavirus firsthand and they want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Rudy.
Yeah. That also something I wanted to talk to you about and throw it out there so everyone knows what's going to happen here with the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell's been trying to find a way to get out of the Utah organization.
Oh, 100%.
Without pulling the LeBron card or pulling the trade me or I'll, not re-sign card, right?
Yep.
This is it. He's going to be like, look, I'm out. You guys, this Rudy Gobert thing, it's between me and Rudy. They're not going to be able to trade Rudy Gobert in that contract. No. So they're like, look, we can't trade Rudy. What do you want us to do? Well, I guess I'm out.
That's so true. And he's not the bad guy. Oh, it's perfect for him.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for Donovan Mitchell to go somewhere cool.
Where do you want him to go? Pacers or something?
I don't know, but I feel like the Nets want him.
Ooh.
I feel like he could end up with the Nets. They've made that deal before with Darren Williams. Who knows? But I don't know, man. He just needs to go somewhere where he has the ball. The whole Conley thing didn't work. Like Donovan Mitchell needs to be in the Harden role. So
have Rudy clogging up the lane.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, man, that's a good question. The Knicks better get him.
So on the other side of the playoffs, then, who would you least like to see win it? Let's think of the 16-team format.
Least who? Probably the Raptors.
Yeah, that would suck.
I don't know, but I don't know. Let's see who's like in it. So, are you talking realistic?
Yeah, I think the funniest one would probably be the Rockets, right? That one.
Yes.
8.
And that's realistic. Like they could somehow win this.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like if he just goes on a crazy streak and hits a bunch of threes, James Harden, speaking of.
I mean, they're going to come back and they're going to be playing with no center and just running around, and teams are going to be like, what the fuck are we doing? What do we do? You know?
And like, if it's possible, even less regard to their shot selection than before, because
Yeah,
this doesn't mean anything.
seriously. And so we have them probably going up, if they do the Western Conference thing, probably against Denver.
Oh,
Either it's going to be Denver or Utah. That's not good for either of those teams.
well, Denver likes to give up points, but yeah, Utah wouldn't be a great matchup for it.
No, I think they would smoke Denver. Like, I have no faith in Denver at all. I don't think they even want to play in this tournament. On the other side, like Philly, like maybe could get hot and win it, and that would kind of suck
Yeah.
because that team needs to be broken up. But it just sucks for them. They were 29-2 at home.
Wow.
Like, they can't even use that. My surprise team, like my pick, if I were to be gambling on this, I'd pick Boston.
Ooh, I like that. You know what? I did spend about an hour and a half watching Jason Tatum highlights from this last season.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly impressed. That guy definitely took his game to another level that I was not aware of.
They were just really good. Like, they were back to being a Brad Stevens team, ball movement, and Tatum, took over. Jaylen Brown also was really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That team's solid as hell.
Yeah.
It's just like, could they get past Milwaukee? Who knows? I really don't see Milwaukee winning, and I don't know.
Man, how big is Milwaukee the big loser from all of this? I mean, they were on pace to win 69 games or 70 games, right?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think this is actually good for them because then they just, they can lose and be like, oh, yeah, it was just because we had that long layoff. Like, you were never going to win the title. Sorry.
Gimmick seasons, just snap their fingers.
Yeah, you have you have Eric Bledsoe, Brooke Lopez, and George Hill as like your other three guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What about the Pacers?
I haven't thought about the Pacers since the quarantine started. And I don't plan on doing much today.
Do you know who their leading scorer is?
It's a bonus. It has to be.
No, TJ Warren.
TJ Warren is their leading scorer?
By 0.2 points.
Man, I just want to point out we were so right on TJ Warren 7 years ago or whenever he came out in that draft. We said
you hated that trade. You hated the TJ Warren to the Pacers move.
Oh, no. But I'm just saying, we always knew TJ Warren, you just put him in, he'll just get you 17 to 20 points a game.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's always been like that,
That's basically all. But I don't know. That team was pretty solid. It was just weird. Oladipo came back and he sucks.
Well, he came off serious injury. Wasn't he out for like a year or something?
Yeah, but he sucks. They couldn't even. They basically were like, we can't play him.
Well, maybe the quarantine helped. We'll see.
Is there anyone else in here that's even worth watching?
Well, I mean, the Pelicans, but we got to hope that they make it.
Yeah. That's the shitty part. The Pelicans had, I think, the easiest schedule after the All-Star break. So they had the easiest path to make it to the playoffs, essentially. I think they were 4 games back, and they played Memphis twice. Memphis is 4 games ahead of them in the 8th spot, and now they don't get that opportunity.
And they were playing out of their mind, too.
Yeah.
The last month and a half, Zion really started to take off. Lonzo.
I don't know. They were 5-5 in their last 10.
Well, before that.
No, yeah, you're right. They gotta let New Orleans in to keep JJ's playoff streak alive.
Seriously.
The Spurs are 27-36.
They're gonna miss it. They're gonna miss the playoffs for the first time in like 25 years or whatever.
End of the dynasty.
Oh, so sad.
Now you were a Phoenix Suns supporter for a little bit there.
Yeah.
What the hell happened and what's going on? They're 26-39.
Oh.
I don't understand how this team is so bad.
Yeah, I just don't think Devin Booker, I hate to say it, but I just don't think he wins games for you. As an option.
And that might be the case for Ayton too, sadly.
We have to give Ayton a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he's only in his second season, and he has looked a lot better in his second season. And he's kind of a throwback player, like those centers like we were talking about earlier. With Shaq, they just don't really exist in the league. They just don't make as much of an impact anymore.
I just feel like coaching has been so bad.
And the coaching, and the entire infrastructure, man. They have the worst owner in sports. He's been the worst owner for 20 years. And yeah, they hired that one dude last year, the international guy. I can't even remember what his name was. And
Yeah.
they fired him after 1 year.
Yep. Yep. And then they get Monty Williams, who's just, let's run this back for the
Yeah.
50th time. But that team, if I look at it, you have Devin Booker, Ayton, Oubre, Rubio. Like, that's a pretty solid core. That should be 500.
Should be.
And then you're adding guys like Baines, Kaminsky, Saric, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Tyler Johnson. There's just like a lot of guys that I feel like teams would want on their team.
Yeah, they should be better.
It makes no sense. I mean, and Booker's like PR this year is 19.8. Like, he's not the worst.
Yeah, and Oubre actually was a really good partner with him.
Yeah.
So.
DeAndre Ayton came back, and like you said, he's averaging 19 and 12 this year with 2 assists and almost 2 blocks.
But you know what the problem is? DeAndre is only worried about one thing, and it's not. So.
And then let's just look at the T-Wolves. Another team, wasn't Towns on like a losing streak of like 15 games?
Oof, really?
Yeah, it was bad. He was like, and then they trade, they make the trade, but that team also really sucks. Like, I don't understand how some of these teams with that talent, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a terrible roster too. I mean, they've been paying Gorgie Dang for like 15 years somehow.
I think they're still. Who's the other guy? Who's the big like European dude they had?
Oh yeah, like Ripkowski or something.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, they've been paying him. I'm pretty sure still. So with all the cap stuff, we might be getting another amnesty clause, right?
Oh yeah.
So who would you, I don't know, put in pole position to be amnestied next? Obviously, the John Wall contract's a little scary, but maybe they just want to play that out.
How many more years do they have? Do they have 2 more years on it?
Hasn't it just kicked in?
Oh my God! Why did you play that out?
Because you're gonna have to pay it either way.
Oh man, that's rough. I would definitely amnesty that if I was the Warrior or the Wizards and just start over.
Yeah, so I think John Wall's obviously a candidate, maybe. Yeah, so he has one. Wait, what year is this? I really feel like he's got like 4 years left. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 years left, up to $47 million.
Holy, that's impressive. His agent, man, that guy needs a raise.
I honestly think that, if we get enough time here, Kyrie could be amnestied. Just the Nets are like, hold on, that's what this guy's like?
That's so true, especially if KD comes back and starts playing really well, and they're just like, we don't need Kyrie also.
Yeah. Could the Warriors amnesty Wiggins?
Ooh, I was going to say Draymond, so that's interesting.
No. I'm thinking Wiggins because he, I don't know, like
contract is garbage.
Yeah, that contract sucks, but I'm just wondering, will they allow that since they didn't technically sign him to that contract? Will they be allowed to amnesty it?
That's a good question. I don't really know how that works. Chris Paul has got to be an amnesty candidate for next year.
Oh man, that guy's had a resurgence.
No, I know, but for next year, isn't he making like $40 million or something crazy?
Absolutely, yes.
So I'm sure OKC would like to get out from that, the 7th seed that they're going to be stuck in.
The really weird thing is, like, we were due for a setback in the cap department because if you look at the amnesties from last time, what was it, 2014 or 2015 or something? Those salaries weren't that bad. Let's see Carlos Boozer, Tyrus, like these guys were making like $10 million, not 40. So it's just weird to see how the cap has exploded.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, like Andre Blatch, $8 million amnesty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Josh Childress, I think he was 5 years, $33 million. So looking at those contracts now, it's like, oh, that's not shit, but it was a big part of the whole team cap. So I don't know. We need to probably set it back a little bit. And Daryl Morey already did with the China stuff, so who knows? What else do you got?
I was just going to say, I think it's funny looking back on the amnesty clause. I remember how pumped we were about that. Like, even us, I don't remember how old we were at the time, like 15, 16. And even then we were like, dude, this is such a great idea that get rid of these bad contracts. And then these GMs are just going around fucking them up, not even using it properly.
Yeah, I don't know. You mess this, like, they should have a committee. Like a committee where you have to submit a proposal to amnesty a guy. Like, look, dude, you don't want to do this. This is dumb.
It was so stupid. They would always amnesty a guy in like the last year when it's like you've already eaten that terrible contract for 3 years. Like, what's the point? I don't know.
What really worries me is that we're not seeing how bad GMs are right now. Like, I don't feel like there's a ton of terrible moves. There are some in the draft. Like, the draft has some weird stuff. But trade-wise, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think Simmons put it the best the other day. I was listening to him. It's just there's so much social media feedback now. Like, you just get ripped apart if you fuck up as a GM.
Right. So it's going to be weird, like, looking back at these, like, oh, these decisions were bad, but not like 90s bad, you know? Listening to those redraftables, did you have like I don't know, I just felt weird about the one and done rule after listening to talking about all the high school guys and how unsuccessful so many of them were. I'm like, wait a second, I don't know, because I know that's where we're moving again or towards some sort of system where guys are coming out of high school to play. I don't know that the one and done rule is that bad.
Oh, 100% agree. I thought you were going to go the opposite direction on that one.
No.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree. Because it got so bad. It got to the point, I think it was like 2002 or maybe even 2003, where they were drafting like 18 to 20, high school kids in the first round. And then like 9 of them or 10 of them, or maybe even higher, would just flame out. They would never play in the league.
Yeah.
It was awful. I mean.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at that and like, okay, hold on. We need to maybe reevaluate this. It would be cool just because, like, people are looking at like the LeBron, KG, and they remember all those big names, but holy shit, there were so many bad high schoolers.
Yeah, there was a nudie EB for every LeBron James.
Also, hey, let's look at real quick. I did a deep dive on the Sonics. RIP.
Oh, yeah. Robert Smith.
Let's look at some of these draft picks.
Oh, my God, it's horrible.
Dude, the fact that I need my dates all set, but
horrible.
They had like a prime Ray Allen, right? Like a pretty damn good 20 a night Ray Allen.
Yep.
That was from 2002 to 2006, 2005-ish pretty much.
And that was all around Ray. That was before he just stood in the corner and bombed threes all
day. Like he was attacking the rack. I went to a lot of those games. He was sick.
He was nice.
So here's really the first draft where he's there. It's Nick Collison, Luke Ridnour, and Willie Green. So Nick Collison and Luke Ridnour.
Yeah, Ridnour was there for a long time. So was Collison.
Those guys, like, they're probably the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
I also remember those two guys being talked about as like they're going to change things. Like they're legitimately good.
Well,
and they were okay.
I think that was coming from a certain segment of people who wanted it to happen.
Ironically, Willie Green probably had just as good of a career as a second-round pick.
Damn.
Okay, so the next year, 2004, Robert Swift, pick 12, absolute disaster.
Can't wait for the documentary.
Andre Emmett in the second round, and some guy named David Young. Andre Emmett had a cup of coffee, but was never good.
I remember Andre Emmett. He won the college slam dunk contest.
Nice.
Yeah. They were proud, I think.
The next year, this is like real solid Ray Allen. Like, hey, we should really be helping him out at this point. That year, Ray averaged 39 minutes a game. Oh. He shot it 19 times a game. What did he average? 23 a game.
Wow.
So, like, hey, let's get Ray some help. Well, they went ahead and drafted Johan Petro.
I knew that name was coming.
And Mikel Gilabelli.
What? So wait, they went back-to-back French dudes?
Yes.
What?
And both of them were complete busts. Like, I can't tell you as a Sonics fan how it's like for almost 3 years, you're just like, oh, we just don't have rookies.
Yeah.
They're not going to play.
Oh my God.
Lawrence Roberts was probably the best pick of that year for them in the second round.
Oh, I loved Lawrence Roberts.
Yep. Hell of a player.
Huge. Fan.
Okay, then we had 2006, Muhammad Sene.
Oh my God. What are they doing? Do they? Oh, they were trying to be the Spurs at this point, right?
I have no idea. This was Wally Walker, I believe, was the GM, and I don't understand how you can pick 3 years in a row. You pick these 7-footers that can't play.
Oh my God.
That's 3 years of wasted draft picks.
Really?
Like you don't get one guy.
And those were lottery picks, right? Those were 3 lottery picks.
Yeah, so a 10th. Johan Petra was the 25th pick, so that one's not as bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sine was the 10th pick in that draft.
Oh my God.
So that by that time, Ray Allen leaves, and we get Kevin Durant, and then the Sonics leave.
After hearing those 3 drafts, I'm going to change my stance. I think the Sonics deserve to leave.
Seriously, like Wally Walker, and Wally Walker gets a lot of credit too for like getting Rashard Lewis and getting Ray Allen in, and like I don't. Maybe he wasn't the GM for all of those picks, but it was a good amount. So instead of Muhammad Sine, they could have drafted Reddick, Cephalosha. Hell, Ronnie Brewer had a decent career.
Wow.
There wasn't a lot of guys. Rajon Rondo, that Brown kind of or that draft kind of sucked. So, but still terrible.
Unbelievable.
I was trying to see what else we had. I had some other stuff with the Sonics, but basically it was just a disaster. Also, I don't like the Rashard Lewis slander that's going around.
There's Rashard Lewis slander going on?
Yeah, people are talking about how bad his contract was. Like, Rashard was a really good player.
Oh, yeah. And he was ahead of his time, right? Like, he averaged 3 threes a game or something.
Yeah, that Magic team was sick.
Yeah, they really were.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
I got my list of quick hitters real quick. I'll run it down for you. The top here, I got DeAndre Baker. You like to see a rookie step up and take control like that.
Yeah, that was interesting. That's an interesting move.
I just thought that whole thing was hilarious. I thought it was, with respect to the situation, I thought it was hilarious. And I thought, why is the rookie in charge there? Like, wasn't the other guy a 6-year veteran or something? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's a Seahawk you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. The rookie is stepping up and taking control of that situation. Come on, you expect more out of the vet.
Yep.
Let's see here. And then I've got I was excited for the Jets upcoming season, but then I played through, I got a lot of extra free time. So I played through an entire season on all Madden, and it's pretty tough to get them to go like 6-10, 7-9. So
it's going to be rough, man. I mean, I don't know if you listened to some of the schedule, like the schedule breakdown thing we did, but with that third place schedule, a lot of teams make the leap after it's like fourth place teams, you think, oh, they get the easy schedule to make the jump, but they never do. They just suck.
Right.
Third place teams, though, typically have a breakout year. And I thought the Jets were a pretty solid candidate this year, but I looked at that strength of schedule is terrible. Playing the NFC West is just brutal.
Yeah, we're second behind the Niners who play in the NFC West. So
that sucks.
It's going to be a fun season. I'm excited for it, though. At least the GM is trying. That's all I could say. I'm happy.
That is like around football circles. Like they're like, yeah, great GM, bad coach.
Yeah, I mean, for the last 6 years, we've just ignoredly acted like the offensive line wasn't a position on the fucking roster. So it was nice to see,
Yeah.
Acknowledges that. But, my next one, this is just, random tidbits. These are just from across my musings. I don't know if you heard this anecdote. I forget what I heard it on, but it was during Kobe's heyday when his team really sucked. And he came in the locker room the one day before the trade deadline, and he said, "Some of y'all getting traded tomorrow." That is one of my favorite Kobe anecdotes I have ever heard.
That's amazing. That needs to happen more. And
Absolutely.
Kobe wouldn't have been shy about saying that to the media. Like LeBron would hide it and he'd get crushed.
100%. And then the best part is nobody got traded on that team either. That's just so.
Just to scare people.
Yeah, he just played with them the rest of the season. That's fantastic. And then finally here, we'll end with this. And I think this is pretty fitting right now, considering the situation and the climate and everything like that. I want to talk about Donald Sterling. So I don't
No.
I don't know if you heard about this, but there was another anecdote that came out that he refused to sign J.J. Redick when Redick was a free agent for the Clippers because he was white. And I was just so confused. And so, it led me to ask the question, is Donald Sterling the most racist person of all time?
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't want to sign white players. He doesn't want black people at his games. I don't know what you want, Donald.
I was so confused. What does this guy want, man? So I just thought that was crazy.
Donald Sterling would have really helped the Sonics from the mid 90s through the early 2000s in the draft. Just saying.
Oh, might have.
Wow, yeah, those I forgot about all those things, but yeah, those are great.
Yeah, little tidbits.
It just JJ Redick being super confused was the best part. What the fuck is going on?
That was so funny to me, dude. Just his reverse racism, but also active. Oh man, Donald Sterling, what a legend.
Did you play 2K this year?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it.
Why is this year not a 2K year? Because I didn't get into it. I played some franchise stuff, and I was like, whatever.
Well, because it's not great. It's the same game that it's been for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel the same way about Madden, though, too,
I can play Madden all day. Just fire everyone, cut everybody, get a bunch of new guys in.
I just get tired of seeing the guy pace around the office constantly.
Fair enough. Cool. Any other tidbits?
No, I think that's pretty much it, man.
Nice. All right. Well, me and Rich are going to get back to one of these divisions on Thursday, really eyeballing the menus here, really doing a deep dive on what kind of oil some of the stadiums are using, what kind of fryers they got, what are the lines like in the concession, stuff like that. So I'm really, really diving deep for the food stuff.
Is NFC West, is that next?
No, we went worst division and we're going to best division.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So somewhere probably one of the AFC. Yeah, we're going to do all the AFC first.
All right.
All right. Well, we will catch up. Hopefully they announce something and we can just start doing some predictions.
We get a little meat. We got to get Ant involved in one of these too.
He's going to be pissed. Sorry, Ant. We'll catch you next time. All right. Thanks for listening. Go to @SpreadShow on Twitter, and we will talk to you next week.